𝗤𝗵𝗱𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗍𝑀𝟀𝑠.com, where I teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support my show, check out the description box below for the many ways to do that. Today we have a plant care video for this lovely, lovely Rex begonia. And it is botanically known as Begonia Rex cultorum. It is a stunning houseplant, as you can see, known for its vibrant, colorful foliage. It's native to the tropical and subtropical regions of Eastern Asia, particularly India and southern China. This species of begonia has been hybridized extensively, resulting in a wide array of cultivars with diverse leaf patterns and colors. This beautiful cultivar that you're looking at here in this video is Miami Storm. Really pretty, kind of a cool name too, and a very pretty plant, as you can see. The most striking feature of Rex begonia is their large, intricately patterned leaves, as you can see here. They do look like they might have been painted with that darker color over the maroon, which is so cool. The leaves can display a variety of colors, including reddish pink like this one, green, silver, and purple. Generally, the leaves have veins and borders with contrasting colors, as you can see here on this one as well. The leaves can be smooth to slightly fuzzy, which also adds to the visual appeal. On this plant, the leaves are just slightly fuzzy, not real fuzzy. There are other varieties that are very fuzzy. The plant generally grows low and compact in a mounded form, as you're seeing here, but they can get to a pretty good size, as you can see with this one as well. It does flower, and you've probably noticed some of the blooms already. They aren't as large of blooms as other types of begonia, but they are very lovely, as you can see. The one up top there, very pretty. There's some more buds here. There's some buds throughout the plant as well. So I find these very lovely, these little blooms. Although generally people are growing them for the foliage, the blooms are an added benefit. Okay, so now how to keep this wonderful plant happy and healthy in your indoor garden. I do have care timestamps below, so feel free to jump to any of the sections that you want to look at and hear about. And I am going to start with lighting. Provide Rex begonia with bright indirect light. If the plant is grown in too low of light, the leaves will lose their vibrancy and the plant won't flower. Place the plant 2 to 3 feet away from a southern exposure window or in front of an eastern window that gets sun until midday. The plant also does very well under full spectrum lighting. If you're growing this plant in a window and don't feel like it's getting sufficient light throughout the day, which is common during the shorter days of late fall and winter, it's a good idea to supplement with 2 to 3 hours of full spectrum lighting. And they also, as mentioned, do really well simply growing under full spectrum lighting. Provide the full spectrum lighting if they aren't getting any other type of light for 14 to 16 hours a day. And as mentioned, supplement with a few hours if you feel they aren't getting enough in front of a window. Okay, so watering is next. It's a bit of a balancing act watering Rex begonia because they don't like to dry out, but they don't do well with overly wet soil either, which can lead to fungal diseases. Water Rex begonia when the top inch of soil has dried out and the pot is more lightweight. If using a moisture meter, water when it reaches 4. For best results, use distilled, reverse osmosis, or rainwater on these plants as they tend to get brown leaf tips and edges. And many tap waters, including mine here in Southern California, do contain things like chlorine, chloramine, and fluoride, all of which will cause the brown leaf tips and brown edges, and a plant to not be very happy. Always use warm water when watering this plant and all of your houseplants. Signs of underwatering include curly and wilting leaves and dry, crispy leaf edges. So those dry, crispy leaf edges can also come from not enough water. And generally speaking, you'll know when you're not watering enough. Overwatering symptoms include mushy stems and yellowing leaves and fungal growth on the soil surface. So if you see that, pull back on watering and make sure to check before you water. Fertilizing. Rex begonias benefit from monthly feeding spring through early fall. Apply a well-balanced organic fertilizer designed for houseplants. And I will put a link below for some good ones, as well as links to any other videos, as well as links to any videos I mentioned in this video as well. Humidity. Rex begonias require relatively high humidity to thrive. Ideally, this is 50 to 80%, as these levels mimic their natural tropical habitat. If your indoor environment is dry, bump up the humidity by putting the plant on a pebble tray, misting on a regular basis, and if things are especially dry, use a humidifier. I have videos on bumping up the humidity, including how to use a humidifier, that I will link below. I have a video playlist on actually as well on bumping up humidity, so I will link that. Okay, so grouping plants is another helpful way to increase humidity with them, because plants humidify each other. So the more plants you have, the happier your Rex begonia is going to be. Get your Rex begonia more friends and it will be happier. For best results in terms of controlling humidity, it's a good idea to use a hygrometer to check the humidity levels around the Rex begonia. And I have a link below for a good hygrometer. This gives you accurate results in terms of what to be looking for, in terms of how much you need to up the humidity. For instance, if the hygrometer is showing 30 or 40%, that tells you there's only 34% humidity and you need to up your game on getting humidity to the plant. Once you try out various methods, you'll be able to then test with the hygrometer to see if it actually worked, what you're doing actually works. So I definitely recommend having one of these handy tools on hand, and I have a video on using them. Okay, so signs of too low humidity will include crispy curling leaves, stunted or slowed growth, failure to flower, and loss of vibrancy in the leaves. So the plant won't be happy. Okay, the next category is temperature. Rex begonias require temperatures between 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. They can tolerate up to 80 degrees Fahrenheit for short periods of time, but don't do well much higher than that for long periods of time, and they definitely don't do well below 60 degrees for very long at all, because remember, they are a tropical plant. So they also do poorly when temperatures fluctuate quite a bit. So try to keep the temperatures as steady as possible. However, don't try to do this by placing the plant in front of an air conditioning vent or in front of a heating vent, as those will dry out the air and make the humidity plummet, which you definitely don't want either. So put it out of a drafty area and monitor the temperature. The good news is about the hygrometer I mentioned to you is that it also has a temperature gauge on it, so you can monitor both at the same time. Repotting this beauty. Rex begonias prefer wide, shallow pots. You'll see it's in sort of, from what you can see here, it's a fairly wide and shallow pot. It's not real deep. And they need excellent drainage. Ensure that whatever type of pot you use, that it has drainage holes and that excellent drainage. They thrive in a well-draining, lightweight potting mix that is also rich in organic matter. And that organic matter helps retain moisture because, as we mentioned, you don't want to dry them out. The ideal soil composition should contain peat moss, perlite or pumice, vermiculite, and some compost. It could also contain other good organic nutrients, such as coming from guano, alfalfa meal, and such. Okay, so I am going to put a link below for my favorite potting mix for this plant, potting soil. Okay, pruning. Rex begonia doesn't require much pruning. Simply remove dead and dying foliage at the base of the plant and pinch off spent flowers once they're done. Pests and diseases. Fungal pathogens can attack Rex begonia, especially if it is overwatered or the soil is kept too moist. This will result in stem and crown rot, leading to leaves turning gray and becoming mushy. So if your plant looks like it's getting all mushy, it's getting dark in color, it's really not looking good, the soil is staying moist, you've got a fungal infection on your hands. One of them possibilities being root rot, which is a fungal infection. So you'll need to figure out how bad it is and definitely cut back on watering, pull back on watering. And I do have a playlist on helping a plant survive and even thrive later on from root rot, which I will link. Okay, propagation is the last category here. Propagate Rex begonia by leaf and stem cuttings and rhizome division in the spring and early summer months. Keep the cuttings and rhizome division humid and moist during rooting by placing them under a humidity dome. So there you go for how to keep this lovely Rex begonia happy and healthy in your indoor garden. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And please check the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos are released.